All right, welcome to Opolo's production site in Templeton, California. Today we brought in about 20 tons of Chardonnay from Edna Valley. The Chardonnay is pressed directly. Yep, let's go take a look. So we have two large presses here. This one holds about 4 tons, this one about 2 tons. So these are just skins and stems after it's been pressed. So we're about to load up another round of Chardonnay. But the juice basically falls from the bottom of the press, and then it's from there pumped into a tank. The white wines, like the Chardonnay, will get settled for a number of days, and then eventually they'll get their yeast and they'll do a real slow and really low fermentation. Let's see what we got here. We got some Chardonnay grapes here. Chardonnay grapes coming at about 23 brix. Brix is a sugar measurement, so we're looking for a very specific sugar and sugar level. Let's see. These are half-ton bins, so 2 of them in 1 ton. So today we get about 40 of these bins in early this morning. Take us most of the day to process it. I think we have some juice here. No, this is a rice host. The rice helps when the grapes are in the press. It helps them from clumping or sticking together. Yeah, it doesn't go into the wine. It just it ensures that we get the most juice out of the grape as possible. Yeah, so basically these presses are just like large balloons. So a little bit air, a little bit air, a little bit of air, and then the juice will fall to the bottom into the tray. Let's see what we got here. So they spin and they rotate. And then the balloon will inflate, and then the juice will drop into the pan. It's done very slowly for an extended period of time, so very gentle on the grape. But basically these bins get dumped into the top, and then they fall into the press. And then you can see from here, we have a hose, and you follow the hose. It's eventually it pumps the juice into a tank.
And how long you stay there?
We'll stay there for fermentation for white wines will take about 30 to 40 days. We do a really low temperature for really slow fermentation. For the Chardonnay, we want a little bit of oak present, so we do about half of it in stainless steel tank, and then we do half of it into the barrel, where it will ferment in barrel. Every day we're checking the temperature, we're checking the brix, we're making sure that we're not losing our aromatics, those nice smells. But yeah, today we're going into this large tank here. These large skinny tanks are good for white wines because the jacket around them helps keep the wine cool. So the taller the tank, the more surface area for cooling we have. So these ones, 1, 2, 3, are specifically for white wine fermentations. Let's see. We show you, and then all these skins and all these stems, they'll go back into the vineyard. So kind of like a compost, they'll get recycled into the dirt. This is our We're not using this today, but most every day we're using this. This is our crusher and our destemmer for the red grapes. So usually when red fruit comes in, it will go into here. This here crushes the grapes. This one like removes the stems, and then from down here it gets pumped into a tank. So the reds get fermented on the skins, the whites get fermented off the skins. Well, usually this is being used constantly, but today we take a little break from this one, doing the white wine today. These are all 6,000 gallon fermenters. They're all full right now. We just last week we brought in over 400 tons of fruit. So all these are full. 3 pump overs a day. For red wines, we do about a 7-day fermentation process. Temperature sometimes getting up to 85, 90 degrees. These jackets here allow you to either heat the tank or cool the tank, depending on what you're looking for. During fermentation, red wines, you want a warm temperature to extract color, to extract tannin. So you see this is our Zinfandel from Dove Pond, which is in the Willow Creek district at 85 degrees. And we monitor the fermentation every day, checking sugar, checking temperature. Every one of these tanks a different protocol, very specific to the fruit, specific to the varietal, specific to the vineyard. Sometimes this one in particular, we're fermenting with a little bit of stem inclusion, a little bit of whole berry too. So we're doing it in bends. So we manually punch it down by hand. Oh yeah, basically these hard lines allow us to go from the bottom here to the top, and then we circulate twice a day for about 25-35 minutes. Mix the tank, get the extraction, remove the color, tannin, all the whole deal.
How much time do you need from this point to have a wine?
Oh, in the bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah, for us, sometimes Zinfandel about a year. The white wines will come out probably around the 1st of the year. And then some of the Bordeaux, like the Cabernet, the Merlots, those ones sometimes 18 months, about a year and a half. Yeah. They need some time to age, to settle down, to kind of become a little smoother. But yeah.
So this season, how much grape you're gonna produce?
We did about, oh man, I think we did about 1,000 tons, so maybe a little bit over that, maybe like 1,200 tons. A lot of fruit, a lot of fruit. But we're almost done. We're about maybe 80% done. Got a few Cabernets still hanging out there. We got some Albarreños still hanging out there. But I mean, once the fruit's in the winery, we still got a lot of work to do. They go through a primary fermentation, and they go through malolactic fermentation, and then they do a barrel aging program. Right here we got the free run juice coming. Hey, we do it really slowly. I mean, it just kind of trickles out. You don't want to be too rough. You don't want to press it too hard. Really gentle. But believe it or not, this dirty looking brownish juice will be a nice clear white Chardonnay once it's all said and done. What else? What else we want to see?
Yeah.
We could take a look at the lab. You want to go into the lab?
Yeah,
Let's go in there. These are all our new barrels, 2019 barrels, waiting for the wine to finish fermentation so they can go and age in the barrel. Some of our interns, Luke here, pulling samples. And then this is pretty much barrel storage, so year round we have about 700 barrels in-house. They're all holding different wines, different types of wood, some American, some Hungarian, some French, different regions. I mean, the oak is kind of like your spice rack. We got a ton of different flavors that we're playing with here in the oak. Help yourself. Oh, let's see. We got a lab in here. We can check out the laboratory. So this is where our day in and day out lab analysis goes. Got Luke, he helps it. He's the guy that brings the grapes from the vineyard before we're ready to pick them, and he kind of just tells us how ripe they are, whether or not they're ready to be picked, when we're gonna pick them.
I just take orders.
And he just takes orders. But we're working with some high-tech equipment, man. Measuring sulfur levels, acid levels, pH. We got an alkalizer, tells you alcohol. We got this fancy gadget here, gives you all kinds of metrics from malic acid to lactic acid, density. Let's see, what else to give you? Anything in the world you want. VA, Yan. A lot of this comes into play like as the aging goes on too. You want to kind of see whether or not you're through malolactic. Kind of our blending table. We'll mess with different blends, trying wines as they ferment, you know, making sure everything's on the right path. Keep it tidy, we keep it tight, we keep it clean.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we got it though. We got it, yeah. This is what we're pulling samples here. It's hundreds of samples a day. Hundreds. Yeah, that's pretty much it, you know? Pretty much it.
When you finish harvesting and reproduction,
Yeah.
what are you doing during the year?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, once we're done harvesting, when we start bottling, we start blending, then we start bottling. I mean, it's always just on to the next thing. Yeah, we have wines that...
So where do you bottle? It's not here?
No, we bring a truck in, so that the dock in the back, there's a big bottling truck. So the wine stays in a tank, and then we just run a line out to the back, and then they bottle on the truck. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, today's a white wine day, so yeah, normally this whole place is covered in Zinfandel. It's usually tons of red wine, but kind of a different day. But we do make about 5 or 6 different white varietals, so